Welcome back to another episode of the FGW Podcast. As always, I am your host, Aisha Wakili. Now, on this podcast, as you know, we don't just talk about issues, but we also talk about things that matter to us, and we sit with people that shape our conversations and people who are actually living this life at the front lines. Now, today, our guest today, she has worn so many hats. She has been a journalist, press secretary, and also a fierce voice for the girl child. She is someone who is here to say her mind, not to be liked. And today, we have a woman that is going to tell us the exact truth that we need to hear. It is going to be about truth telling, gender-based violence, and what it means to be a woman in a field that is very demanding. So sit back and let's get into it with Dr. Aisha Wakaso, a woman who is here to say her mind, not to be liked. She says exactly what she means. Welcome, ma.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, ma. So today we have always been seeing your post on the Facebook. You have always been teasing our baggy people. So today I want to ask this on behalf of the baggy community. Is there a backstory behind this? Should we be worried?
No, it's just this Abokanan Wasa thing, Kambari people and baggy people. That's all, nothing more.
All right, so now she has cleared the air. Our minds can
But that does not still change the fact that people are my slaves. And until you accept it, that's where the problem is. They don't accept that they are my slaves.
No, we cannot accept it. How now? A whole baggy community slave.
Okay, don't worry. We'll continue the battle.
All right, welcome, ma.
Thank you very much.
So, ma, you've been in government and you've seen so many, a lot of your works. And you are known to be a woman that says the truth no matter what, whether you be liked or not. Mm-hmm. So we want to know this. Is there a time where you decided that, okay, you are not going to live anymore for people's approval, or has it been something you've grown up with?
Okay, first and foremost, I will say that what shaped me today was basically the way that I grew up.
Okay.
I come from a very liberal family. Liberal in the sense that, not liberal without discipline, but liberal in the sense that if my father, who is Kambari, could go all the way to the east to marry a woman, then you know that it's liberal, right? So we grew up, no segregation. My father was Muslim until he died. We were Muslims until later we became Christians with our mother. So that's the kind of house we lived in. We lived in a house where it was a live and let's live kind of place. You had a voice to speak irrespective of whether you're a girl or boy, and then no preference for a male child. So there's another level of being a normal child. If you're a second child, you're not a very normal person like that. So I think it's a combination of my father gave me a voice, and then being a second child. And then again, the final one, then being an Aisha. You see, these three things put together, just
a whole mix.
It's a whole mix. Yes.
Yeah. So, would you say that you grew up with a silver spoon?
I don't want to use the word silver.
Okay.
But I grew up not lacking anything. So I don't want to use the word silver because if someone like the children of IBB would say they grew up with silver spoon, my father was not an IBB, but I didn't lack anything.
You must not have to use that word silver spoon, but we can say we've been privileged.
Oh, extremely privileged. I had too much.
Yes.
I had too much.
So we thank God.
I can't stop thanking God. So when people want to talk about their stories and they say, I remember when we didn't have food to eat. I don't know how to say those stories. And it would be unfair if I want to trivialize their pains by saying that I went through that. It will really be unfair.
Yes, that's really unfair. So when we actually speak about being a girl child now, in our community, in this country, there are some men that will be like, oh, they don't want a female child. They just want a male child, to be specific. And we live in a society where it is believed that women are the weaker vessel. So is it that, or rather, let me ask you this question. Do you think there is a problem in Nigeria that the girl child is facing that the whole Nigeria is ignoring that you think we need to spotlight?
And you see, for me, there are so many things working against a woman. Too many of them. If we start to talk today, we will not end here. Education is one issue. I come from Magama local government here in Niger State, and the truth is that our people, especially those girls from Zone C, hardly take education seriously. A lot of out of school girls, a lot who didn't even start. Like in my community, if you go there, you find out that imagine that in a whole of Magama local government can tell me that we have only one female PhD holder. It's embarrassing.
Wow.
So you see, education. I'm not going to go deep talking about a whole lot of things. Education, provision of sanitary towels. You see, men have condoms when you go out. You could. There were times where condoms were shared for free.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
There were times where condoms were shared for free because they wanted to prevent the increase or the spread of HIV. Condoms are cheap, not as expensive as sanitary towels. So I am thinking that if government could come in and begin to give sanitary towels for free to girls, if girls are in their period, there are girls who do not go to school because of the sanitary pad.
Yeah.
Because of how, menstrual hygiene, their schools do not have the appropriate facilities to take care of them in the sense of maybe changing their sanitary towels, and they are not using the appropriate sanitary towels, so they are getting stained. So menstrual hygiene, education, gender-based violence. I think gender-based violence is increasing now. Sexual and gender-based violence. Men are abusing our girls. Even the teachers we send our children to school to go and be mentors to them and teach them, they sexually abuse our girls.
It's still happening so late.
Yeah. Gender-based violence, the sexual part is the one that bothers me the most. People do not understand the effect it leaves with a girl child. Lack of skills, we don't have skills, Education is not only about the education you and I go to get in school, then skills and some things that we do, majority of women. And I think that one of the biggest things for me again is giving us a space in the room. I mean, giving us a space in the room, like, we've been asking for me and gender-based violence every day. It's in my head. We've been asking for affirmative action, 35%. We have been asking for them to allow us. Now, majority of the times when we ask for people to allow us to have, affirmative action, I hear them say, will we just sit down? And then they will hand it over to us. Even if we stand up, we can't get it until they give it to us. There's no need to argue that we can fight the men to a standstill. Let's talk about how elections are held. The forms alone are too expensive, and majority of us do not have the finances to even buy the forms. Not to talk of, we don't have elections in Nigeria, you have to have that thing to give to people, even from delegate level. You have to give the delegates money to vote for you and all of that. So, you see, I think that space should actually be given to us. Affirmative action, allow us. Just say, okay, look at what the governor did in Niger State. I'm not trying to talk politics, but he just decided that every vice chairman in Niger will be a woman. Now, if you do things like that, more women will participate. It will even encourage our girls that, after all, education is not a scam. After all, education is not even a waste. If you go to school, there's a possibility that somebody will remember you tomorrow.
So now talking about, giving the girl child a chance, that actually sparks, it's made me rewind back to the case, or rather, how the criticism that First Lady Remi Tinubu was facing when she was making reference to selling akara. Yes, and then people were like, so we live in a country where empowerment comes in form of selling akara, when in other countries we have people giving out jobs and where they can earn good money. So what can you say about that?
Unfortunately, whether we like it or not, we cannot compare ourselves to other countries at the moment.
Okay.
Where we still have people who have nothing they are doing. And if the wife of the president is talking to university graduates, then we can be a bit angry, right? But if she's talking to the girl in my village, she's talking to the girl in Bako, the girl in Bida that has access to Dakwa and Kuli Kuli and does not have education. And they are the ones who are the most vulnerable because they do not even have a voice. And she's telling them to start 50,000 naira akara business. Kose, akara is still kose, right?
Yes.
Corn business. I do not think there is anything wrong in that. Where I find a problem with it is if you tell a graduate who has a phone of probably 500,000 already to go and start doing akara business. Nigerians, we already feel that we are too tush for that. And that's even another mentality, another thing to talk about on a different day.
Yeah.
But I know a woman in Mina here who sent 2 of her sons abroad by selling akara, fried yam, around Top Medical Road.
Is it like an all-in-one business?
She was frying the akara and the fried yam, I think every evening and every morning.
Oh, okay.
Yes. 2 of her sons, they went to FUT, they graduated, they left Nigeria, they live outside the country now.
But could you compare it would that actually work like that in the present economy?
People eat. There's a woman that sells beans, just beans, on Peter Sariki Road. I also go there to buy beans.
Okay.
Because her beans is nice. If you're passing that place, you will see different types of Okada. All the Okada and Keke Napebs. Initially, I was wondering what happens here. Until I realized that she only puts big pots of beans on the fire, cooks beans, and people go to eat. People will always eat. If you look around me now, you realize that Yafemi has a duplex, a story building house. It's a story building houses Yafemi restaurant.
Oh.
A story building houses Rashida restaurant.
Yes.
There's money in food business.
Exactly. So would you say that more women should go into it rather than waiting for government?
I will say women should find what to do instead of waiting for government. The truth is because government can really never do everything. We're too many and the resources are not available. That's why we call on other people. The little way that you can empower someone, please empower someone.
So thank you for that wonderful insight. Now we're moving on to the issues happening in Nigeria. Would you say that Nigerians actually want to hear the truth or they are too sensitive to hear it?
And Nigerians are too sensitive to hear the truth.
Why did you say so?
I say so because of the way sometimes we react when the truth comes out.
No.
I feel, for me, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to say this in the way that it's going to not sound nice, but I just think that Nigerians are really not ready to hear the truth. Because even when we see the truth glaringly, we refuse to take it as the truth. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Okay, you're interviewing me and I'm not supposed to ask you a question. But I would rather say that if you work with or for someone and that person is your fave and the person is wrong, how do you accept the criticism on that person?
That's actually a tough question. So if you're working for
I'm
someone,
going to give you an example.
The thing is, people actually they may not want to take the criticism probably because it does not resonate, or rather, it's, let's say, their gender. Let's say when we're talking about gender, the same gender, they may not want to take that.
Good. So because I see that I'm bringing this out here because I post stuff on my Facebook and I talk about gender-based violence.
Yeah.
I talk about I talk about domestic violence. I talk about sexual-based violence. And the truth is that when I make such posts, men come at me attacking me why I should say things like that. But the truth still remains that I'm not lying. It's the truth. It's happening. But because it's their gender, they feel that as a woman, you shouldn't even call out their gender because they are men and we are women and we should just be beneath and never say a word.
Do you actually believe that women are beneath?
Well, for me personally, as a woman, I just think that we're partners in progress. I don't think that we're beneath anyone. We're just partners in progress. We cannot function properly without the men, and they cannot also function properly without us. Yes, they are the head, They are the leaders of the families, but we also have families where women lead.
Yes.
We have families where the man is a drunkard, the man is a gambler, the man is a rapist. He doesn't even have, he's not a responsible man, but the families are still functioning. So in a family like that, would you say that the woman is beneath? No. I would just say that we're partners in progress, you know. But I will also agree that religiously, the man is supposed to lead the home. The man is supposed to head the home and he's supposed to take responsibility to protect his home. Unfortunately, women are doing a whole lot of that too now. We have a lot of widows, we have a lot of divorcees, and we have a lot of single mothers. So, where do we put those people? Where do we place them?
So that's another thing. When we talk about men and women, we're always bringing in gender wars into it.
It's a war that will never end.
Yes,
and you know
exactly.
why? Because it's becoming. And you know why it's like that? Go and check it very well. It's Africa and Nigeria, basically. You know,
But don't you think it's happening elsewhere?
not really. Those ones, they have come to terms with reality.
So is it that the opposite, maybe one gender is trying to show, I'm on top?
Nigerians are running away from ending the patriarchy.
Okay.
That's what they're running from. So they hide behind religion and culture.
But do you think patriarchy can actually end in Nigeria?
It will not end, but it will reduce.
Do we have hope for that?
There's hope. If we are talking, our mothers didn't talk. That was why. Yeah. If we are talking now, the ones after us will talk. In fact, I like the girls coming after us. They don't just talk, they act. And their action is madness.
Yeah, but they usually say that when we're talking about feminism, like when we bring up feminism, it's always there's this stereotype that you are going against the religion.
And you know what? I will go back and look for that book. There is a book, and it was written by a Muslim. I think her name is Bilkis. Maybe Abi Zaria. I will look for that book. She broke down the laws and the rights of a Muslim woman in that book. At the time when I got access of that, I had access to that book. I took a picture of it and I posted it on my status and I said to women, go and look, Muslim women, go and look for this book and read it. She broke into pieces a woman's rights. If you look at it critically, the rights that women have in Islam or the rights that women have in religions,
Yes.
is much more than what the men can give.
Yes.
So what they look at is they hold on to some parts of the Quran, the Bible, or the Hadith to make you feel like, and then if you don't read for yourself, you're gone. I'm going to use the Bible as an example. Ephesians, I think 5:22. Yes. They will tell you, wives submit, wives submit. They only talk about the submit. But before the submission, it says to the man, love her like Christ loved the church. And that means Christ was able to die for her. Now, how many guys will die for his wife first? And then it is after you have loved me, before my own commandments said I should, submit to you. So that's what they do. But patriarchy, give it time. In fact, these girls that are coming behind us, I like them.
Really?
Oh, I love them. You know why? Majority of them are acting based on the pains that they have seen. I was speaking to one girl before. One day she said, "God forbid, Auntie Aisha, I can never hustle with a man." I said, "Really?" I said, "But why?" She said, "God forbid, this one that my auntie's eyes, my mother's eyes, and all these people are seeing.
Everything that they have
I will never see it." So they have seen people get hurt. They have seen people get broken-hearted. Nice, good people. And there was a time I used to shout and I would say, "Men, treat women nicely. Treat women nicely because these girls are watching." They thought it was a joke. Now these girls are becoming the things that we're afraid of.
Of course.
And now they are complaining. Why are you complaining? These are the monsters that they created by themselves.